Unit 1, Topic 3 notes. I can create and interpret frequency tables. First off, definition of frequency table is a way of tracking the number of data points for a set of categorical data items. So in this case, we have pet ownership in a class. So this would mark how many people have a dog. So if we count up the tallies, we could say, okay, 12 people in class have a dog. Cat, we have 6 people. Fish, we have 4. Bird, we have 2. Other pets, we have 8. And no pet, we have 4. So it's a way of seeing how many people have a certain amount of something. So here we are going to complete a frequency table for the data of residents at a retirement home were surveyed on their age. The results were as follows. So we have all of these numbers. So I'm going to scan this data and I'm going to look for the smallest number. And the smallest number that I see is 78. So I'm going to start my table at 78. And then I'm going to count how many 78s I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6. So I'm going to put a 6 there. The next number I see is 79. So we want to go from least to greatest. Makes it easier to interpret. So we have 79 one time, 2 times, 3 times. Next we're looking at 80. And I see 80 only one time in the table. All right, next number would be 81. And I see that one time, 2 times. 82, we see 1, 2, 3 times. 83, we see 1, 2 times. And then 84 and 85 are both in the table one time. So that's the first thing, is to create that frequency table. Then we are going to find the measures of central tendency. Central tendency are those mean, median, and mode. So what's nice about this frequency table is mode is going to be very obvious, because mode is the number that appears the most often. So which number has the highest frequency? Which number has the biggest number in that frequency? And that would be 78. 78, we see 6 times, so our mode is 78. Then to find our median using this table is a little bit different, because we can see we have a frequency of 6 78s. So then I need to get 6 in on this side. So I have 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So now I've gone in 7 times over here. If I add 3 over here, we're at 9. So then if I keep going to 2, 7 plus 2 is 9. So 80 is actually going to be the number in the middle, because we have 9 numbers over here, because 6 plus 3 is 9. And we have 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 is also equal to 9. So if we were crossing the numbers off, we would cross off that 9 times. Our median is 80. If that just confused you, another way to do it would be, we could still use those hash marks, but we just have to hash it 6 times. So we do 1, 2, oh, apologies. We do 1, 2, we get to do every other. But since this still needs another slash, we have to go another slash there to get off that 1. 1 here, 1 here, a 4th one there. This one still needs a second one, so we do 2 hash marks there. We still have 2 more hash marks to go on this 6, so 1, 1, 1, 2. So now we're done with the 6, we can move on to the 3, 1, 1. That one has its 3 marks, so we go 1, 1, 1, 1. And then that would be there. So you can only give as many slash marks as the number of frequency. So that's another way that you could find the median. Lastly, we'd like to find the mean of the data. So that means we're just going to have to add up all the numbers and then divide it by the amount of frequency. All right, so we have 6/78. So I'm going to use this Desmos calculator, which I do have linked for you guys in Schoology. So if you'd like to use this calculator, feel free to use it. So I'm going to start by just putting a fraction on here because I'm going to be dividing, and so I know I want a fraction. So I had 6/78. So I'm going to put 6 and then times 78 because I know I have 6 of them. And then I'm going to add to that 3 of my 79s. And then I'm going to add to that 180 and 2 81s. And then I'm going to add to that 3 82s and 2 83s. And then finally, we're going to add an 84 and an 85. There's only one of those, so you can just add them on at the end. Now, the number we divide by is the total amount of numbers. So we can add up these numbers here, or we could just count the total number of numbers. It doesn't matter. What would you like to do? So I'm going to add these up. I know 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17, plus 1 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Again, you could also just count your numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Either way, we got 19. So that's going to be the number I divide by. And then over here, we can see our answer. So we're going to round that to 80.4. So our mean is 80.4. And that is how you can create a frequency table and find our central tendencies. One more example to go through with you guys. We have Mrs. Mueller likes to go running on nice days. She tallied the number of miles she ran each day for the month of June and recorded the results in a frequency table. So here we don't get the data as a list, we just get it in the frequency table. So miles run, so that's 1 mile run. She did that 2 times during the month of June. So 2 of the days in June, she ran 1 mile. And then here, 7 days in June, she ran 2 miles. 5 days in June, she ran 3 miles, and so on and so forth. So we're looking down here at these questions. How many days did she run exactly 2 miles? So if we look here, we go to 2 miles, and we know 7 of the days in June, she ran 2 miles. How many days did she run exactly 7 miles? So we go to 7 for our miles, and we can see that 0 of the days. She did not run exactly 7 miles on any of the day. She ran 8 miles, so that's more than 7, but not exactly 7. All right. So now we're going to find the measures of central tendency. So mean, median, mode for Mrs. Mueller's mileage. So mean is that average, median is that number in the middle, and then mode is the number that is seen the most often. So we just did that on the last example. So I want you guys to pause this video and try to answer that mean, median, and mode. And then if you have any questions, you can email me or join office hours and we can go through that together. And then once you answer that question, you can go on into the practice problems and do the remainder of the practice.